All right. So here I am. It's me, Andrew. I'm doing a house review of Star Alliance Mass Mutation, and um, I didn't plan to be doing this. Just me. I've been trying to have guests on, but just hasn't worked out for a while. And Dark Tidings is around the corner, so I'm kind of going, hey, I just need to get these out there. So here I am. Yeah, that is that. Star Alliance is one of the houses that I think took a little bit of a hit, mass mutation compared to Worlds Collide. And specifically, I feel like in the upgrade area, things are a little rougher. Um, anyway, we'll talk about that. But before kind of going through all the cards, there's a few standard things I like to go through. And the first is looking at what you can expect if you open up a deck and you see that it's a mass mutation deck and you see that it has Star Alliance. What should you look for? And I feel like this was a little more clear cut in Worlds Collide than it. Um, so in mass mutation, if I see Star Alliance, I hope to get some. I hope to get some speed, some things that will just help me get through playing things out faster. I hope for some uh, some interesting effects that sometimes might change the game. You know, like a Quixel Stone, um, uh, or things that change how creatures interact. Um, but in Worlds Collide, I was really expecting a lot of acceleration, and I feel like it's less here. And here, I'm in mass mutation. I might even look for a little more on the control side of things, where I have things that might slow my opponent down. And uh, although not in the same way as in Worlds Collide. So I think that's mostly it. They still have some strong upgrade theming, but uh, but it is different. So okay, that's that. For what house I'd like to see next to them, it's I think in Worlds Collide I would have said Logos, and here I will still say Logos, and that's pretty strong just because they do tend to play off each other well and beat up things. If I had to put out a second, I might say Sanctum because I think sometimes the use interaction, Starlights and Sanctum are excellent. Um, then uh, what combos I like? So my favorite combo here, I think, is to get Lay of the Land with New Frontiers. Uh, Not a super obvious combo, but the ability to look, arrange things, and then archive at least the next two cards of your deck with the years is strong. Mm, as far as a Maverick, I think the thing that I would really like to see Mavericked into Star Alliance would be auto encoder, and I would love to end up with like a Quixelstone auto encoder that doesn't have logos, just to see what it could look like with two different houses. Um, because that is the main reason why I like to get logos with Star Alliance. Is auto encoder with Quixelstone really out nicely. And then if I could get a legacy card, there's only one set to draw on here, but I think go for, you know, Ingram's a strong bet here, but I actually think I would go for Light of the Archons. There's some other great upgrades too that I would consider wanting to pull back, but Light of the Archons is it. If you'd asked me a while ago, I might have said Stealth Mode because that's such a good card, um, but I think Light of the Archon would make the upgrade feel awesome again. Okay, So, yeah, with that said, let's get into the cards. So, Dark Amber Vault, of course, can show up in any house. Um, so, that is a thing. I have yet to get a good Dark Amber Vault deck. My brother in law, Stuart, aka Donut's dad, got a Dark Amber Vault that last we checked was had the highest efficiency rating on any deck on decks of Keyforge. So that's pretty cool. And you get Star Alliance and Logos together, and then throw a Dark Amber Ball in, and it's real crazy. All right, Access Denied is a new upgrade, and it has a bonus amber, and it says this creature cannot reap. This is a really nice way to deal with things, especially small creatures that really do want to reap to be effective. Um, if you throw this on, then they can fight, but they aren't going to do much. And I've had a couple decks where I've been able to put this with detention foil to make a creature not able to fight or reap, which just sit there, which is pretty cool. So that's Access Denied. Blast Shielding is another new upgrade. It also has a bonus amber. It gives a creature +2 armor. It says that after the creature is used, its controller may attach Blast Shielding to one of its neighbors. That can be really nice to bounce around and get good value out of that shield. It's not one of my favorite cards, I think, just because shield isn't the most exciting effect to me. Maybe if we're in a set with Brobnar, it would be more exciting. There were more awesome fight effects happening. But anyway, cool picture there too. There's like lava and looks like acid and fine. Okay, next is Commander Chan. This one is back from Worlds Collide, a 4-power human with Fight, Reap, use another friendly creature. Excellent if you can get this on the board. It doesn't have, oh, this is another thing that changed, I think. I felt like Worlds Collide had more of the crazy Fight, Reap, and for Science Officer Morpheus to boost it. There's a little bit less of that, and they're a little less strong overall. Commander Chan never had Play, Fight, Reap, but it's a strong effect. If Commander Chan's on the board, your opponent wants to deal with him before you can get that effect off. It's just strong. Crewman Yorg is new in Mass Mutation. She's a 3-power human thief with 1 capture enhancement and the ability action. If Crewman Yorg has no Star Alliance neighbors, steal 1 amber. And yeah, that could be a nice steal. You kind of rely on having board protection, or your opponent just not having ways to deal with your board for her to be able to fire, but steal 1 is solid if you pull it off. All right, now we get into the first of the mashup creatures here for Star Alliance, the Demo Alien, a 3-power mutant alien with Fight. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put 1 into your hand and 1 on the bottom of your deck, and destroyed, steal 1. So the of course the alien part is the Star Alliance part, and that's what gives it this fight effect. The destroyed, steal 1 effect is the demo part. That's the Dees version. So this is not the, well, destroyed, steal 1 is a solid effect. So I would just want to start by saying I'm not sad to see this one just because that's a solid effect. However, it's not really synergistic here, right? The fight with the destroyed and if you power, you're probably not going to get that fight effect to fire. You're just going to get the destroyed effect, which is okay. It's a good destroyed effect, but occasionally you might get into a circumstance where you use it against to break an elusive or something like that, or where you attach something to it like an Explo Rover, but typically you're just going to get that destroyed effect. All right, and speaking of Explo Rover is back from Worlds Collide. It's a 3-power robot with Skirmish, and it's one of these ones that can be played as an upgrade instead of a creature, and then it gives the creature attached to. Very nice. Hadron Collision is an action. When you play it, you remove a ward from a creature, and then deal 3 damage to it. And this damage cannot be prevented by armor. So it is a nice way to just like really, yes, you are definitely doing 3 damage to the creature. Really solid. It's a way to kill something through encounter suit, and obviously through a ward in general, and through armor. So very nice effect there. No amber pips on it. No, yeah, no amber, but by default, but still a really powerful effect. All right, Observe You Max is an upgrade with a bonus amber that gives the creature Fight, Reap, Capture 1. Now, that's always nice. You're just kind of, okay, I'm doing things I want to do, and as I'm doing them, I am slowing down my opponent. Reddler is back. It's an action that says play. If there are more enemy creatures than friendly creatures, deal damage to each enemy creature equal to the difference. That is a great way to reset the board and start to claw back. Scout Pete is a new creature, a 4-power alien with play, fight, reap. Look at the top card of your deck. You may discard that card. And see, that just doesn't seem that strong to me. So I'm never, excuse me, I'm never really thrilled to see Scout Pete, just because looking at and potentially discarding a single card is just not that great of an effect. A 4-power body is not bad, but that's also not particularly thrilling. All right, then we have Secura Droid, a 4-power robot with taunt. And Secura Droid may be played as an upgrade instead of a creature, and then it gives the creatures attached to taunt. Cool. Then next up is Sensor Chief Garcia, a 3-power human with play, fight, reap. Keys cost +2 during your opponent's next turn. And Garcia is back from Worlds Collide, and a very good creature. Garcia is excellent. Subdue is a card I really do like. It's an action with a bonus amber, and it says when you play it, you deal 1 damage to a creature and stun it. And the 1 damage is nice for popping a ward, but a stun is also just really nice. So yeah, it's a solid, just generally useful card. Next up, we have Subject Kirby, a 2-power mutant with play, fight, reap. You may play a non-Star Alliance creature this turn. So obviously, this is the mutant form of Calm Officer Kirby. Calm Officer Kirby is 3-power, so a little bigger, but also the original Kirby from Worlds Collide lets you play a non-Star Alliance anything but a creature, so upgrade, artifact, or action. Whereas Subject Kirby, it's a creature. So this tends to be better in creature-heavy decks. And yeah, it's strong. It's not as good. Is it as good as Kirby? It just depends. I think I'm usually, I like the original Kirby a little better, I think. It's situational, but I think I like the original Kirby a little better. And the blasters are so nice too, so I miss the blasters. And a little bit of nerf to the upgrades here. But Subject Kirby is great. I'm never sad to see it in a deck. And there's a weird combo you can do here if you have a deck that has 3 Grey Riders with Subject Kirby, and it's possible to play the Kirby even on turn 1. If you had all 4 of those cards in your hand, you can play Kirby, play Grey Rider, ready the Kirby, reap with Kirby, play another Grey Rider, ready Kirby, reap with him, play the other Grey Rider, ready Kirby, reap with him, and then play another non-Star Alliance. That'd be a crazy draw, but that would be, but you could do that turn 1 and it would work. All right. Next, we have Survey. It's an action with a bonus amber. It has a draw enhancement that it puts somewhere. And when you play it, you look at the top 2 cards of your deck and you discard 1 of them. Again, that just doesn't seem, it's okay filtering, but it's not, compared to Lay of the Land, it's not as good. I mean, I guess you have the draw icon, so I shouldn't discount that. But I'd just rather have Lay of the Land every time. All right, Teleporter Chief Tink is a 2-power alien with elusive and action. Swap Teleporter Chief Tink with another friendly creature in the battle line. You may use that other creature this turn. Yeah, that's a nice effect. Anthony is new here, and we're into the uncommons now. Anthony is a 6-power robot with play, capture all of your opponent's amber, and then at the end of your turn, you move 1 amber from Anthony to your opponent's pool. So that's pretty strong. And if you combine this with a card like Transporter Platform, it's infinite stop. But even just, being able to stop that way, capture all your opponent's, really nice. So leading back at the turn, but it's a very, very good tempo tool. Next, we have Armory Officer Nell, a 4-power alien with a draw enhancement added somewhere. And after an upgrade enters play, draw a card. The interesting thing to remember here is that it's an upgrade. So this would apply if the upgrade goes on an opponent's creature, even if it's played by an opponent. So if this stays on the board and there are upgrades going around either deck, it's giving you a lot of cards. That is pretty cool. And it's in their passive, so very nice. And this adds a little extra wombo combo ability to a platform, right? Because if you have the upgrades, you have Nell out and you're doing the transport platform, you're doing the things, you're getting all that silly amber, and you're getting draws, which is just silly. All right, Away Team is pretty cool. It's a 5-power alien, human, and robot. And it has destroyed, put each upgrade on Away Team into its owner's archives. So you're going to put those upgrades out, but when Away Team dies, the upgrades go back in your archives. Pretty cool. All right, next is Detention Coil. It's an upgrade with a bonus amber, and it says this creature cannot fight. So again, a little more control here. So between this and Access Denied, you have interesting creature and board control. I guess in a way this makes up for not having stealth mode, but I think stealth mode is just a stronger card. Although these are really fun to play. When you have an opponent's creature that they got a 12-power creature out, they're so excited about it, and you just say nope, it can't fight. That's pretty cool. All right, Hayden Oswin is a 2-power human with Reap, gain 1 amber for each upgrade on Hayden Oswin, and maybe it would have just been too good to have her in the set with Light of the Archons. I would love to see a deck with like a Legacy Light of the Archons with Hayden. I have not looked for that yet, but that sounds like a fun idea. But Reap, gain 1 for each upgrade. Pretty good. Lay of the Land is an action with a bonus amber. When you play it, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck and you put them back in any order, and then you draw a card. Yeah, really, that is really nice sorting. Then we have Lieutenant Commander Trigon, a 4-power mutant with Reap. Discard the top card of your deck. Resolve that card's bonus icons as if you had played it. That can be great, but it's very subject to chance. And this is where cards like Pete and Survey and Lay of the Land and Xeno and Alien come in really handy, because you can control a little bit what's on the top of your deck and then have Trigon hit. So I was able to, the other day playing deck, I was able to work out a situation where I got one of those fight effects where I looked at the top 3 cards of my deck, put 1 in my hand, put 1 on the bottom. The thing I left on top was a fertility chant. So then when I reaped with Trigon, it discarded the fertility chant and gave me 4 amber, which was really nice. So there are cool things you can do like that, but generally speaking, I don't expect Trigon to be that good, partially because there aren't that many cards that get a lot of icons, and even in decks that have a lot of enhancements, you're usually going to have like 1 or 2. So anyway, little rant there, but I don't love Trigon, but it can occasionally be really cool. All right, Mutagenesis Researcher is a 3-power creature, a mutant scientist, and she has enhance 1 of each icon, and that's it. It's cool. I think it's very cool, fitting in with the with the idea of mass mutation, how it works, to have a card like this. Of course, once it's on the board, it's kind of a boring power body. All right, New Frontiers is an action with a bonus amber. When you play it, you choose a house, you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, and you archive each card of the chosen house from those 3 cards that you revealed, and then you discard the others. So again, if you can combine this with stuff like Play of the Land or even Repeat or Survey, then you can potentially get really good value out of this where you're archiving 2 or even 3 cards. Those are ifs, right? But can be pretty cool. It's also nice. It can also be nice in Quixelstone decks because it's a way to filter cards out and set yourself up for better draw or better turns. Okay, Particle Sweep is an action with a bonus amber. When you play it, you deal 2 damage to a creature, but if it's a mutant, you destroy it instead. Yeah, that's cool. It's not. I mean, the deal 2 damage is not particularly exciting. Destroy a mutant is also, it's fine. It's not amazing. So yeah, this isn't. It's not the best card. I don't. There are a lot of things I would rather have, but it's good that it has an amber pip on it. All right. Yeah, so Quintrino Flux is a really strong card. It's an action, and when you play it, so it has no amber on it, but when you play it, you choose a friendly creature and an enemy creature. You destroy the chosen creatures and each creature with the same power as either of the chosen creatures. And this is a really nice way to wipe the board. Ideally, you pick a creature, where maybe you have 1 2-power creature and your opponent has 3, so you pick that one, and then your opponent has 2 5-power creatures, none, so you choose 5 power, right? You've destroyed 1 of your creatures and 5 of theirs. Those are the kind of situations you're looking for. Of course, this is back from Worlds Collide. Yeah, it's a solid card. All right, next up is Stealthster. This is another one of those robots that can be an upgrade. It's a 3-power robot with elusive, and if you attach it as an upgrade, then attach to it. Stunner is back. It's an upgrade with a bonus amber that gives a creature fight reap. You may stun a creature. That is really excellent. That's always nice. And then we have Transporter Platform. It's an artifact with a bonus amber, and it has action, return a friendly creature, and each upgrade attached to it to their owner's hands is the location. It's back from Worlds Collide, and yeah, this is really nice. It is a little weird because Worlds Collide didn't have any. Well, with the exception of maybe Quadricorder, it didn't really have any upgrades that you would want to attach to an enemy creature. So, and certainly none with bonus amber on them. So here, you end up in a situation where sometimes you might want to play a creature, attach access denied and detention coil to it, transporter platform it back to your hand, play the creature, and then play those upgrades on enemy creature. So it's just a little more awkward here. Obviously, with cards like Blast Shielding and it's really good with Observe You Max. It's also a little iffy because you're capturing with that. So if you lift it with the platform, then you're giving that amber back, and then so it works out a little funny. So again, I think this is not as strong here as it was in Worlds Collide, but it can still be quite strong. And if you combine it with Nell, then that's pretty good. We have Universal Translator, back from Worlds Collide. Excellent card. It's an upgrade with a bonus amber. It gives the creature it's attached to fight reap. Use a friendly non-Star Alliance creature. That's really nice. Xeno Training, also back from Worlds Collide. It's an action with a bonus amber, and it says for each house represented among friendly creatures, a friendly creature captures 1 amber. Theoretically, you could capture more than 3 here because if you had collared an enemy creature or some other mechanism to bring them over, then you could have, or they exiled or something, you could have more than 3 houses represented. But generally, you're hoping to capture 3 with this. More often, you're probably going to capture 1, but it can capture 3 in the right conditions, and theoretically, it could capture more. It's just not going to very often. Amber Tracker is really cool. It's we're into the rares now, but Amber Tracker is a 4-power beast with play. Deal 2 damage to each enemy creature with amber on it, and this damage cannot be prevented by armor. And yeah, that's really nice. Ambassador Lou. I don't think I have gotten this card in a deck yet, or if I have, it was in a really not so good deck. Uh, Ambassador Lou is a 4-power mutant politician with action. Discard a card from your hand. If it's a Dees or Shadows card, steal 1 amber. If it's a Logos or Untamed card, gain 2 amber. If it's a Sanctum or Saurian card, capture 3 amber. That's pretty cool. It'll be interesting to see if this one could get legacied later. Like you can imagine that's getting legacied into Dark Tidings, uh, and suddenly it would reference D, and that doesn't make sense. Not a big deal. And I also don't see any particular reason why you couldn't have it auto update to just list the 6 houses that are in the set. Captain Val Jericho is one of, if not the best leader in Keyforge. She's a 5-power human leader with 1 armor, and her text is, during your turn, if Captain Val Jericho is in the center of your battle line, you may play 1 card that is not of the active house. Such a strong effect. Just really good and really fun to be able to do that and come up with turn combos that can't happen without those abilities, and just to have it working every turn is so cool. So any deck that has Val, I get excited about. It's going to at least be fun, right? Even if it isn't perfect, it's going to be fun. All right. Then we have Commander Dirksgar, a 4-power mutant that says, after an upgrade is attached to Commander Dirksgar or one of its neighbors, gain 1 amber. You can imagine if you had a bunch of upgrades, a Nell, and this, and a transporter platform, I mean, you could just, it'd be crazy. But yeah, I haven't seen this turn out to be that amazing in practice. I haven't seen decks where it fires. Disruption Field, great art on that. It's an upgrade with a bonus amber. It says your opponent's keys cost +1 for each disruption counter on Disruption Field. What's a disruption counter? Well, it's just grab whatever you have. I keep an extra color in my token box just for cards like this. But when the creature fights or reaps, it puts a disruption counter on disruption field. Really interesting. Those counters go on disruption field. They don't go on the creature itself, and they're not amber or anything like that. They're their own counter, but it makes your opponent's keys cost +1 for each counter. And I guess this makes up for not having Quadricorder, and the right setup could ultimately be better than Quadricorder, but you have to have the right setup. Oh, Encounter Suit. I didn't realize Encounter Suit is back, but it is. It's an upgrade. It does not have a bonus amber, but it doesn't need it. It's such a great card. It says, after an action card is played, but before resolving its play effect, ward this creature. Yeah, that's a nice effect. Ensign El Samra is a 3-power mutant with 3 draw enhancement. That's cool. I like that. And she has action, reveal a card from your hand, resolve its bonus icons as if you had played it. Yeah, that's nice. And that's optional, right? If you don't have a card where you feel like you'd get more value out of it, then you just reap. Exchange Officer, so cool. Exchange Officer is a 3-power human with play, fight, reap, use a friendly Star Alliance card. And then what is not explained is Exchange Officer never shows up in Star Alliance. Exchange Officer is never a Star Alliance card. He's always on one of the other houses. And what he does is he goes over there as a Maverick, and he sends a creature from that house back over to Star Alliance as a Maverick. So any deck that has Exchange Officer is guaranteed to at least have 2 Mavericks. And yeah, it's really cool. And saying use a friendly Star Alliance card is great. I didn't realize even it says card, so you could. I haven't looked into this, but you could theoretically get this with transporter platform and like play the exchange officer, use the transporter platform, bring the exchange officer back to your hand, or there's cool things you can do with that. So that seems super cool. Um, yeah, I don't have a great deck with exchange officer in it, but I have seen some fun ones out there, and it's such a cool, it's a fun mechanic. Nothing printed on the card tells you how that works. It's just the algorithm makes decks that way based on the card being in. That's super fun for there. All right, next we have Forging an Alliance. This one is back from Worlds Collide. It's an action with a bonus amber, and it says when you play it, you forge a key at +7 current cost, reduced by 1 to a maximum of 6 for each house represented among cards in play. So essentially, if there are 6 different houses on the table, then Forging an Alliance gives you that amber and then forges for +1. So it's really a wash. It's just a forge right now. Otherwise, it's going to cost a little extra, but that cost can be nice. I think maybe one of the reasons I tend to not love this card is because I tend to well, it's so hard because I tend to like to control the board. So if you're controlling the board, then the most going to reduce by like 3, right? Because you're busy killing your opponent, killing their creature. Galactic Census is an action with a bonus amber. When you play it, if there are exactly 3 or exactly 4 houses represented among creatures in play, you gain 1 amber, meaning 2 total, right? The bonus plus this. If there are exactly 5, gain 2. If there are exactly 6 or more, or if there are 6 or more, gain 3. So you potentially gain 4 amber total by playing this card, which is pretty cool. It's at least going to get you 1. It's not bad. General Order 24 is back, and this is one of the coolest cards in Star Alliance. It says at the start of each player's turn, they must choose a creature they control and destroy each creature of the chosen creature's house. If that player has no creatures in play, destroy General Order 24 instead. Yeah, this is just a nice way to put cool pressure on the board and force weird stuff to happen. I love it. Next, we have Hapless Cadet, a 3-power alien with taunt, and destroyed, your opponent loses 3 amber. So good, and I wish I had this in a good deck. I'm just not getting the right Star Alliance cards. Need all the rares. Hold the Line is an action with a bonus amber that says play if there are more enemy creatures than friendly creatures, draw cards equal to the difference. So this is like Glorious Few or Red Alert, but it draws cards, and that just seems super cool. I like it. I think those are those the same creatures from Dance of Doom? That's interesting. Dawn Cargo, promising but doesn't live. John Cargo is a 1-power robot with Reap. Discard the top card of your deck and reveal your hand. Archive each card that shares a house with the discarded card. That's a cool effect. If only it were on a creature that could live. 1 power without elusive. And a powerful effect, you're just not long for this world. Cartanu is a 1-power beast with Reap. Use an artifact controlled by any player as if it were yours. That's super cool. It's like a better version of Nexus as far as its Reap ability. The downside to it is that it is only 1 power and it's not elusive. So, again, pretty easy to kill if your opponent decides they want to, which they probably will. Next up, we have Matter Maker, which is an artifact with a bonus amber. It's an item, and it says you may play upgrades as if they were in the active house. And I really think this card ought to have been made like autoencoder, a common that you can only get 1 of. I think if this were in half the Star Alliance decks out there, it would make Star Alliance a lot more fun as a house because they have that cool upgrade vibe, and that this really empowers that in a great way. And I just think it should have shown up a lot more often. So that's my 2 cents. Yeah, I love Matter Maker. It is a great card. Next, we have Peace Accord. Peace Accord is an artifact, a law, and this is back from Worlds Collide as well. When you play it, each player gains 2 amber, and after a player fights with a creature, they lose 4 amber, and then you destroy a piece of. So this is just an interesting way to, yeah, change the rules of the game a little bit and push your opponent into deciding what they want to do. Next up is Quixel Stone. It's an artifact with a bonus amber. It's an item, and it says that if a player has more creatures in play than their opponent, they cannot play creatures. And that is such a powerful effect under the right conditions. So if you get this in a deck with low creature count anyway, where you just don't have a lot of creatures and your deck can go fast with Quixel on the board, that is pretty excellent. But otherwise, too, there are occasions where you can, even decks that may not want to play it early, can get into situations where you can set up a circumstance where you can lock your opponent out by playing into the game. So there are good options there, and it's just it's a fun card that changes the rules of the game pretty substantially. And for that reason, I like it. This card is probably, in my view, the #1 reason right now to want to have artifact control. All right, next up, speaking of artifact control, is Tachyon Pulse. Tachyon Pulse is an action with a bonus amber that says play, destroy each artifact, exhaust each creature with an upgrade. That doesn't intend to hurt you, the Star Alliance player, except you get to use your creatures before you play this. Okay, next we have Z-Force Agent 14. And this is a really fun card that really doubles down on the whole upgrade thing for Star Alliance. Z-Force Agent 14 is a 5-power cyborg, and it has fight, gain 1 amber for each upgrade on Z-Force Agent 14. So that's pretty cool, just based on what we have already. However, I guess it's a refugee from Logos. Makes sense. Anytime you get Z-Force Agent 14, you automatically also get added to your deck these 3 upgrades. Z Particle Tracker is an upgrade with a bonus amber that gives the creature fight, search your deck for an upgrade and put it into your hand, shuffle your deck. Z-Ray Blaster is an upgrade with a bonus amber that gives a creature +3 power, and before fight, deal 3 damage to each neighbor of the creature this creature fights. Really solid. Similar to Plasma Nozzle, but also makes the creature bigger. So that's pretty cool. Z-Wave Emitter is an upgrade with a bonus amber that says at the start of your turn, so if you get Z-Force Agent 14 on the board, it has okay, it fights, it gets other upgrades, it does extra damage, and it's bigger, and you ward it at the start of your turn. That's all. That all ends up being pretty powerful. You throw a couple other upgrades on there, and you can crazy stuff. You're fighting and gaining 5, or doing a lot of work. So it's a pretty cool card. I have not got it yet in a deck that can really use it enough, but I would love to. It's a nice card. Dino Alien is a 5-power mutant alien. So it has that same fight ability, and the being Saurian, the Saurian half of it makes it a little bigger and gives it this play effect. You may exalt it, and if you do, deal 3 damage to it. Lyco Alien is the untamed version. So it's 1 extra power. It's 4 power, and it has Skirmish, and that works really well with that fight ability. And the reverse of this is the Dino Beast, which also is just fantastic. Sacro Alien is the Sanctum version, so it gets 2 extra power and 2 armor. Still has that fight ability. Techno Alien is the Logos version, so it gets one extra power, or maybe the demo makes it smaller even. So yeah, it's just 4 power. It has the fight ability, and then the Techno part gives it the Reap ability. Reap, discard a card from your hand. You do draw a card. So either of these could fire, but this is not very synergistic to have both of these on the same creature. And then Umbra Alien is the Shadows version. It gets 3 power and it gets a loose. It has the fight ability. Also not very synergistic. So that's that. That is Star Alliance in Mass Mutation. I hope you enjoyed and that you've been getting chances to play Mass Mutation, if not in person, then at least online. I'll get the rest of these up in the coming days, and then we'll all look forward to Dark Tidings together. Thanks.